Story time. Emma had been in a relationship for 3 years. When her boyfriend broke up with her, she felt a deep sadness. Nights were long and she found herself crying often. Missing the comfort of what she had lost, friends told her that it was just a rough patch. But the constant heaviness in her chest made her wonder if it was more. Scrolling through social media, she saw posts about depression and began to think that she may be depressed. By the end of the video, you will be able to judge if she is depressed or not. We are diving into a topic that's both delicate and incredibly important: depression. Now, we all feel sad or down sometimes, but there's a growing trend on social media where people quickly label their sadness as depression. This misuse of the term is not only misleading but can also undermine the seriousness of actual depression. Let's talk about why depression is not something you can self-diagnose and why it's so much more than just feeling sad. So, what is depression? According to the American Psychiatric Association, depression or major depressive disorder is a serious mental illness that affects how you feel, think, and handle daily activities. It's more than just feeling sad for a few days. It's a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. This condition often requires medical diagnosis and treatment, which can include therapy, medication, or a combination of both. It's important to note that depression isn't just feeling sad for a couple of days. We all have those moments when life gets us down, but depression is a prolonged, pervasive state of being that impacts every aspect of a person's life. And it's not something that you can simply snap out of. If it were that easy, depression wouldn't be the serious issue that it is. Here's where things get a bit dangerous. Self-diagnosing depression. With the ease of access to information online, it's tempting to search for symptoms and make conclusions based on what you find. But depression is a clinical condition that requires a professional diagnosis. It's not something you can accurately identify on your own, especially because it can be confused with other mental health conditions like anxiety, bipolar disorder, or even chronic stress. Studies have shown that self-diagnosis can lead to several issues. For one, you might start believing you have a condition you don't actually have, which can lead to unnecessary worry or inappropriate treatment. On the flip side, you might overlook or dismiss symptoms that are actually serious, delaying the help you need. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that misdiagnosis, whether by oneself or even by an unqualified professional, exacerbate the problem. They found that many people confuse short-term sadness or emotional distress with depression. This misdiagnosis can lead to inappropriate treatments or even worsen the condition by not addressing the issue. Sadness is a normal emotion. We all experience it from time to time, but depression is much more than just feeling sad. It can cause changes in appetite, sleep disturbances, feeling of worthlessness, and even thoughts of death or suicide. These symptoms can persist for weeks, months, or even years, affecting every other aspect of a person's life. One of the most alarming aspects of depression is that it can lead to suicidal thoughts or actions. This is why it's so important to treat depression as the serious condition it is. It's not about feeling down in the dumps. It's a pervasive illness that requires professional intervention and often a combination of therapies to manage. Moreover, when we mislabel our emotions, we might miss out on addressing the real issues that are causing our distress. For instance, if you're feeling down because of a tough situation at work or a strained relationship, labeling it as depression might prevent you from taking actionable steps to improve those circumstances. Instead, you might resign yourself to feeling stuck or helpless, thinking that it's out of your control. Dr. Friedman, a psychiatrist at Weill Cornell Medical College, points out that while emotional struggles are real and valid, they're not always indicative of a depressive disorder. Confusing the two can lead to unnecessary medication or overlooking the importance of addressing the underlying issues. Now, what do you think? Do you still think Emma is depressed? If you still think she is depressed, listen to Michael's story. Michael had always been the life of the party, but after his father passed away, everything changed. He couldn't sleep, eat, or find joy in anything he once loved. Days blurred together as he lost interest in everything, including his job and friends. Unlike Emma, Michael didn't label his feelings as depression right away. He just felt nothing. And that's how scary depression is.